Hey, deserving listeners, there are essentially three different kinds of families according to family systems theory. You have healthy families that are operating healthily and adaptively, and they function well for the most part. They have issues, but they're handleable. And then you have disengaged families, which are distant, pathologically distant. And then you have enmeshed families, which are pathologically over-involved. Sometimes people think that enmeshed families are very close, but they're actually not close. There's a distance in their over-involvement. They'll appear to be close from the outside. They talk to each other a lot. They know a lot about each other. They can even have a lot of love for each other, for sure. But underneath, there's a pathology of over-involvement, a pathology of requiring other people to think and behave a certain way, a lack of individuation, that sort of thing. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about enmeshment because it's pretty complicated, actually. And it's something that I've been concerned with since the beginning of my career in marriage and family therapy 25 years ago. I have also been teaching it for the past 20 plus years, and it's a complicated topic. I often find that it requires a lot of explaining, a lot of examples, a lot of exploration for people to really understand what enmeshment really means. Disengagement, pathological distance in families is pretty easy to understand. People don't really recognize each other's needs. They don't know what is going on in each other's lives. They don't respond very quickly or at all to each other's distress. They don't even notice each other's distress because that's the style of the family, and that's pathological because it doesn't help people to get the support and the love that they need. But enmeshment is harder because enmeshment, a lot of people, when they look at enmeshed families, when you ask them, how are things going, they'll think, oh, we're close, we're healthy, we're better than other families, we love each other, all these kinds of things. But upon further investigation, some of these families will actually determine, wait a second, I think we have too much involvement in each other's lives. And there's some unspoken rules that I haven't even really allowed myself to evaluate because the internal questions are threatening to me and to the family. And maybe there is something going on here. And so that's what I want to talk about today in detail. Upper tier patron Maria asked the following question that relates to this. I was wondering if maybe you could do a deep dive on enmeshment in families. What happens when, with the best intentions, parents become enmeshed with their children? What are the long-term effects for the children? How does it affect adult relationships for the children? In my case, I am an only child, and I grew up in what I think it was an enmeshed relationship with both of my parents, particularly my father. My parents are basically good people. They love me, and they did what they thought was best, but they had emotional issues of their own, like attachment issues regarding their own parents, that made them not wanting me to fully grow up so that I would always be by their side. My dad used to promote economic dependency in me, for instance, and my mom would open my letters and even listen to my phone conversations. Oddly, growing up, I felt that their love was somewhat conditional, and that maybe if I failed them in some way, they would become really angry and not love me anymore. Now, I am 44 years old, and I live 10,000 kilometers from them. They visit every year, and our relationship is better now, maybe because of the distance. I decided that it would be better for me to get away from their meddling and their judgment, but sometimes it is still not easy. For example, they do not like my husband. And there was a point a couple of years ago when I wrote a letter saying that I would not tolerate some things, and also saying that growing up, I felt I could not be myself sometimes because we had to explain everything to each other and we had to agree on everything. Although it was a hard letter to write and send, things have improved since I sent the letter. Now they respect my privacy and my boundaries more, and I feel I can say what is really on my mind. I just want to say as well that I really love them and they love me. Lately, I even feel like my mom is like a good friend, and in some ways, they both have helped me when I needed it. End of email. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about enmeshment, this upper tier patron, Maria, presents a very good example of enmeshment. Why are families enmeshed? Where does it come from? What effects does it have on the kids? What is the concept? What do healthy families look like? What do disengaged families look like? What are the attachment underpinnings? Why do people do this? Why do people act this way? Why do families operate this way? And I'm also going to talk about a brand or a flavor of enmeshment that we call enmeshment and conflictual, which is enmeshed, but it's different than the one that Maria is presenting. This is the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I am your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I teach in a marriage and family therapy program. And I am also a podcaster, and I am someone who cares a lot about this topic. This episode is just for patrons of the podcast. So if you are not a patron, you will not hear the rest of this episode. It's going to be, an hour or so of material. If you are a patron, then you're going to hear the rest. So if you are not a patron and you want to hear the rest, then go to patreon.com, become a patron of this podcast, and you will get instructions on how to gain access to this episode and on the hundreds of other episodes in which I do deep dives into various conceptual topics. So become a patron, do it now.